Hello, this is cjhoyle. Today is Saturday, May the 29th, 2021, and I'm coming to you today from the Lower Don Trail, and I'm just about to cross over Pottery Road. There's a little bit of a pedestrian or cyclist refuge island here in the middle. So we've gone across half of the street, and now we're crossing the second half of Pottery Road, and I'll continue my way riding down in the south direction. In this video, I'm planning on riding from here at Pottery Road all the way down to Cork Town Commons Park, down pretty close to the waterfront. And one of the reasons why I decided to come and film this portion of the Lower Don Trail is because this summer, the city is going to be undertaking some repairs to this trail, and it's going to be closed for close to a year. So I figured while it's still open, I better come here and sort of get a ride that shows the before, and we can come back next year and we can revisit and see the after. So the Lower Don Trail runs along beside the Don River, and it's just over to my right. You may have seen the white water from the rapids a moment ago when there's a bit of an opening in the trail. This is a really common trail for people to come to for riding bikes and running and walking and other activities like that. But this lower portion of the trail has been somewhat neglected for quite a long time. Not necessarily right here, but the portion further down. When we get there, you'll certainly understand why the repairs are necessary, and I'll also tell you about some of the upgrades that are coming as well. So we've got a bit of a downhill here. So I made a video showing this trail way back in 2015, I believe it was. But that was filmed on an older camera that didn't take quite as good video, so I of course knew it was a good idea to come back and film it again. And of course a couple of things have changed in the 6 years since I recorded it. Not a lot, but a little bit. You can see that this is a pretty green trail. You're always surrounded by trees and other plants while you're coming down it. This bridge that we're about to go underneath of, this is a on-ramp to the Don Valley Parkway, which is a major highway that also runs down the middle of the Don Valley. And if you can hear any traffic noises in the background, that's where those are coming from. Hopefully you can also appreciate the nature noises too, though. Like those birds. So I'm filming this at around 11:30 in the morning on a Saturday. And it's actually relatively cold today compared to how it's been. Last weekend we had a little bit of a heat wave, and there was high humidity, and it really felt at times almost uncomfortably hot. But temperatures change very quickly from that, and yesterday, Friday, temperatures were down in the single-digit degrees Celsius range. And at one point I looked out the window and it had been raining for most of the day, and it actually looked like there was some snow falling. I don't know whether that was an illusion, but it really did feel that kind of cold. Alright, so we're going underneath of a bridge here. This is the Prince Edward Viaduct, or the Bloor-Danforth Viaduct Bridge. Bloor Viaduct, which connects together Bloor and Danforth. I've made videos riding along that bridge a number of times. And the Line 2 Bloor Danforth subway also runs through the undercarriage of that bridge. There weren't any subway trains crossing when I rode past a moment ago, but that is something that you'll see when you're riding underneath of it. So the temperature this morning, just before I left home, I looked and it was 11 degrees Celsius. So I started it with pants and a jacket, but before I arrived here, I had already removed my jacket because it felt too warm for even a light jacket. So I guess things have warmed up a bit from what they were when I left home. But there's also a bit of a breeze, so if you're standing still, you might want to have long sleeve clothes today. So the portion of trail that I'm filming today is about 5 kilometers long. And from what I've read, that entire stretch will be closed, like I said, starting in sometime during the month of June until the website says summer 2022. So it could be, like I said, probably a year, if not a little bit longer. We're just about to pass underneath of the Belleville Underpass. The Belleville is the name of a city in eastern Ontario. And the reason that's called the Belleville Underpass is because the train line, which runs over top of that underpass, is called the Belleville Track or the Belleville Line. It's operated by CP Rail, Canadian Pacific, and it goes towards Belleville. It might even end in Belleville, I'm not entirely sure. So the reason that this entire 5 kilometer stretch needs to be closed all the way from Pottery Road down to Corktown Commons is because this is kind of an uninterrupted, continuous trail with no entrances or exits the whole way along. And that's because this trail is kind of landlocked between a major highway, the Don Valley Parkway, and the river, and at some points the train as well. So there's very limited access to this trail. But one of the places where they're going to add access is actually this bridge that we're about to go underneath of here. This is a bridge that's just for pedestrians and bikes, no cars, and it connects together Riverdale Park on either side of the Don River. And right now there's a stairway that gets you from the trail up to that bridge. But in this future improvements to the trail, they're going to add an actual ramp with switchbacks, which will enable you to be able to ride your bike on and off from there. So that's one of the improvements that we're looking forward to. And as you can see here, the asphalt is in pretty rough condition here, and there's also these, puddles that end up staying here in the low-lying areas for, quite a long time, particularly during the spring. They're also going to deal with that, supposedly. I guess add some drainage to improve that and also resurface this area as well. And it also talks about potentially widening the trail, so maybe the asphalt would cover the entire width here. I'm not exactly sure on those details, but we'll come back and revisit it, like I said, next year in 2022 when it's all completed. We're just about to pass underneath of Gerrard Street here. There's a nice look at the Don River to our left. And back there we, of course, crossed from being on the east side of the Don to now we're on the west side of the Don. When we cross that bridge. Alright, I'm going to go nice and slow through here because I do have fenders on this bike, but I don't want water to splash up on the camera or anything like that. Yeah, like you can see, this trail is definitely ready for its revitalization. I'm just disappointed that it's going to take them an entire year to do all that work. This next bridge that we're about to pass underneath of is for Dundas Street, and continuing on with improving this trail, the plans for this are to add a pedestrian stairway from here up to there. So no bicycle switchback like the one on Riverdale Park, but at least giving people the option of being able to walk up and down from the trail to Dundas would be nice. And apparently that stairway is also going to have a trough at the side where you can walk your bike up along the side of it. Yeah, you can see there's lots of people out enjoying this trail this morning. I've certainly seen it busier than this though. I think the fact that it's kind of colder today has discouraged people from coming out, but I imagine later in the day it'll be pretty packed here. This is actually a good amount of people to ride the trail though. When there's too many people, it sort of gets clogged and it makes it hard to ride, and it would be harder to make a video. Alright, this next bridge here is for Queen Street East, and this one does already have a set of stairways from the trail up to the road, so I don't think there are any further improvements for that. As I look out on the Don River over on the left, I remind myself that I'm hoping to, at some point this summer, paddle my kayak up the Don River. So while this trail will be closed for people walking and biking, I'm hoping to be able to see this same scenery from a different vantage point down there in the water. And hopefully that's something that if my audience is interested, that I'll be able to make a video about and share that experience. That last bridge that we crossed back there was the one that carries Eastern Avenue, which is basically the eastern extension, or basically when Richmond and Adelaide streets, which are one-way streets, combined together, they become Eastern Avenue, which continues going in the east direction across the Don River into the East End. Alright, so here we're at sort of a Y in the trail. If I was to continue over towards the left, that would take me down towards the waterfront trail, but I'm actually going to turn to the right here, which will take me into a park that was created just a few years ago called Cork Town Commons Park, and it's sort of located in the eastern end of the Canary District. And I'm planning on riding up to the intersection of Front Street and Bayview Avenue, and I want to go there because a couple of weeks ago I made a video where I rode my bike down Bayview Avenue, and that's the location where I finished that video, so I figured to sort of close the loop, I'll end things there. So I'm kind of gradually coloring in the map of the city of Toronto. And during the time that the Lower Don is closed, they've converted part of Bayview Avenue and they've added these bi-directional bike lanes that you can see right now. And that's what will take people to basically to the place where I started this video, on the road instead of on the trail. Anyways, so here I am at the intersection of Front Street and Bayview Avenue. If you watch all the way to the end of this video, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And thanks for watching.